Dankeschön.
Thank you.
Silence for those affected by the tragedies in Morocco and Libya, and our thoughts with those and with all of those affected by those two disasters. Well, Manchester United are back in the Champions League, but in what state have they arrived? After their worst start to a season in 34 years, they now take on one of the continent's biggest big hitters, Bayern Munich, the new Kane gang, hungry for European success. But United have turned things around in improbable circumstances against them before. We're underway. Bayern Munich, white shirts, red shorts, and Manchester United in their change kit, which is a half Newcastle, half Juventus shirt, black with 3 or 4 thin white stripes down the front. United kicking from right to left as we look at it. And alongside me, I'm delighted to say tonight, former England captain Stuart Pearce.
Evening, Jim. Yeah, well, if we're going to kick off the Champions League, certainly my first game, and this season, what a game we've got in front of us here. An incredible fixture. United not going into it in a good place league-wise and certainly injury-wise, but they'll be looking to gather some sort of result to take back to Old Trafford, I think.
All of the goals as they go in across the continent. A couple of results earlier. Galatasaray 2, Copenhagen 2, the other game in this group. Real Madrid beat Union Berlin with Jude Bellingham's 6th goal in 6 games for his new club, coming in the 4th minute of stoppage time. 1-0 at the Bernabeu to get Real Madrid off to a winning start tonight. We talk sport. Arsenal, of course, in action at home to PSV, and as soon as anything of any consequence happens, we'll hear from Talksport's chief football correspondent Alex Crook. Bayern in possession, in the left-back position, played forward towards Goretzka. 10 yards outside the penalty area. He was the one player that was expected might potentially leave over the course of the summer, but he remains on Bayern's books. Lima, one of the new arrivals, playing it forward. Manchester United able to regain possession and work it back inside their own penalty area, where Dalot will be able to clear. There's been another goal, third of the night already, at Vicarage Road. Ian Abraham.
17 gone, Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 2. Ball in from the left-hand side, and it was Jed Wallace, the skipper, 6 yards out of the near post, who poked the ball home. Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 2.
Thank you, Moose. 2 minutes gone in this one. Bayern Munich 0, Manchester United 0. Good early possession for Bayern. Played forward here by Lima. And good movement from Leroy Sané, getting to the byline, but in the dragging the ball back inside the penalty area, he didn't really get the purchase. He hit Lisandro Martinez on his way through. Sané just walks away very gingerly, but already one perceptive through ball from Lima, getting the Manchester United backline turn.
Where my concern is here, just looking at that, we'll get the corner out the way first and then just analyse United's line-up on the press.
So the corner taken in towards the near post, and they'll do it all again. Now it took a touch off a Bayern player. Goretzka making a darting near post run, couldn't get on the end of Sané's delivery effectively, and it's out of play for a goal kick with 3 gone and 0-0.
Yeah, just looking at United's press, they're going to sort of quite a heavy press into Bayern's half, but they're pushing Eriksen right on to go and join the press onto the holding midfield player of Bayern. What that does, once the ball gets played past there, all of a sudden Casemiro is left on his own, having to deal with quite a wide space, and that for me is a big problem, I think, with his lack of pace.
Reguilon, first to a bouncing ball in the midfield, now to be taken on by Marcus Rashford, level with the edge of the Bayern penalty area, Lionel across, concedes the throw. There is a train of thought that if Manchester United are going to have any success tonight, it will be their ability to be able to get in behind the fullbacks Lima and Davis, who often will both push forward at the same time, just leaving 2 exposed centre-halves. It's a tactic that seldom really gets exposed in the Bundesliga. Eriksen's got it now, inside the penalty area, playing it across, and somehow he's denied at the near post. Now they're claiming that it should be a penalty. Eriksen getting the ball on the left-hand side of the penalty area, sweeping it inside the box, cleared initially as Eriksen's ball in flicked off Upamecano. But was there a push from Davis on Pellistri as he came in? And Eriksen really should have done better on the follow-up.
Well, think Ballistra should have done better. I think Eriksson should have done better as well. Great opportunity for United to break deadlock there.
They get a corner. They've taken it short. They've worked into a central position. Dallow's ball in. Across the face of Rashford, and how to play for a goal kick that will be taken away to the left-hand side by Sven Ulreich. But that is a moment of great encouragement for Manchester United just 4 minutes in.
Yeah, it come from really loose play from Bayern, playing out from near enough in their right corner flag, and all of a sudden lost possession. It was Eriksson that created the effort, and he was the one who got the secondary effort.
A few signs of early nerves for the Bavarians as a loose ball intended for Davis over on the far touchline, just evaded in and couldn't control it. Goes out of play for a Manchester United throw. Elsewhere, Real Sociedad have taken an early lead against Inter with a goal from Mendes, and there's been a missed penalty for Salzburg at Benfica. 0-0 in that one. So plenty of early action in the Champions League. Manchester United will feel that they should really be ahead. 5 minutes gone in this one, and they've got another corner. This one will be taken on the right-hand side. Hoyland and Casemiro taking up station on the edge of the 6-yard box. Lindelof waits by the penalty spot. Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United captain, is the man that has gone out to take it. It's going to be a right-footed away swinger. Martinez trying to find a little bit of space, but the whistle had gone before the ball landed inside the penalty area, and the Swedish referee Glenn Nyberg has given a free kick Bayern Munich's way. 6 gone on Talksport, 0-0.
Yeah, I think if you're United at all, when you think to yourself that you're going over there just to sit back, they're anything but at this moment in time. They're pushing on a big full court press at this moment in time inside Bayern's half, and it's paid dividends earlier on.
And Davis has lost possession here as the ball is fallen into the feet of Rashford. He's claiming that he was upended by Lima. The referee didn't agree, and then there is a foul. Fernandes on Davis, which gives a free kick Bayern's way. But it has been a good start. After that, only a couple of minutes where Bayern were on the front foot. They won the corner. The good ball from Lima down the side of the back line for Sane. Manchester United had responded well. And here comes Lima making his way forward up the right flank again. In towards Leroy Sané. He's onside. Reguilon appealing for an offside, held the line. He wasn't. Sané getting to the byline. Jet once back inside. And then the referee's whistle goes as a Sané move very quickly breaks down. I think now for the offside against Sané from that previous phase of play. It was a close call, but the assistant referee keeping his flag down. Yet another goal at Vicarage Road for Ian Abrahams.
Midway through the first half, Watford 2, West Brom 2. This is a cracker. Martins picks the ball up 30 yards out, runs to the edge of the box and curls one into the top corner. Watford 2, West Brom 2.
2-2 through 23 minutes there. Goals at Blackburn, at Huddersfield, at Hull and Millwall. Also for the Arsenal PSV game in the Champions League. We'll get an update from Alex Crook very shortly. And live on Talksport 2, Norwich 0, Leicester 0. As we again give you a choice of live games on the Talksport network tonight. And that one with Ian Danner and Sam Parkin live right now from Carrow Road over on Talksport 2. 2 of the top 4 in the Young Championship table. Now this one, 8 minutes in, doesn't feel as though it's going to stay 0-0 for long. And Manchester United will bring it forward. Lisandro Martinez finding Reguilon. Coming in off the left flank, just shuffles the ball back in field for Rashford. It's a good one too, as he works the cross in. It's headed away by Upamecano, and out for another Manchester United corner, their third already.
Yeah, United look quite strong when they pressed with the 5-man press. They've turned it over and had joy from that. My only consideration is when Bayern have gone through that 5-man press, all of a sudden United have looked a little bit vulnerable to balls inside from out, and certainly in behind their back line.
Rashford offers himself for the short corner from Eriksson, but it does look as though he's contemplating delivering one right inside the penalty area. Ends up working it short. I bought the dummy as well. Rashford back to him. 6 yards outside the box, right-footed in-swinging delivery. Punched away by Ulreich. And Fernandes will let the ball run down towards the touchline. There's a decent stop by Sven Ulreich, who continues to deputise for the long-term injured Manuel Neuer. Now Goretzka can bring it away for Bayern as the deadlock is broken at Arsenal. Alex Crook.
Arsenal 1, PSV 0. Bukayo Saka with his first Champions League goal. Martin Odegaard with the initial shot parried away by Benitez in the PSV goal. And there was Saka to tuck home from close range. It's Arsenal 1, PSV 0.
Great start for Arsenal. The other game in that group. Sevilla have just taken the lead at home to Lens. Lucas Ocampos. Now the Argentine scoring that goal. Sevilla 1, Lens 0, Arsenal 1, PSV 0. PSV going into that game unbeaten in 26. A run that stretches back to a Europa League tie last February. Won it out the last 9. Arsenal in good form themselves, and they lead inside the opening 10 minutes. Got 10 minutes behind us in this one as well. And it's Bayern Munich 0, Manchester United 0, Stuart.
Yeah, just looking at Bayern there, just Onana looking to build up from the back, and Bayern quite happy to let Lindelof have the ball. It looks as though he's the point of press that Bayern are going to go after. Let it go out to Lindelof and then squeeze that side of the pitch.
Here's Kimmich. According to reports, doesn't particularly get on very well with Thomas Tuchel. The gist of the conversation I'm led to believe was Tuchel said publicly, I need a number 6. And Kimmich said, I'm a number 6. It didn't go down very well. The conversation, both have riled the other up, according to reports, but Kimmich still in the team. Still experienced now more than 300 Bayern games behind him. Here's Lima. They play forward towards halfway. Sane's given it away, just played it in behind Musiala. Pellistri winning it back. And then Kimmich is in strongly. But Bruno Fernandes will get it. Trying to release Pellistri to get round the back of the very brisk Davis, but he fouled him in the process. And it's a free kick that will be taken by Bayern just outside their own box.
Yeah, it's just that little loose ball. Both teams have got time and space to play in midfield, and it's just whichever one at this moment in time presses the best to turn over and makes the most of those counter-attack opportunities.
Ball spun out to the Bayern Munich right-hand side, but there was a foul off the ball. Reguilon ending up on the deck. And he's lying flat on his back. There's penalty action in the Mickey Gray derby. Here's Mickey Gray.
And it has just been scored by the away side Sunderland. It's Blackburn 0, Sunderland 1. Jack Clark put the ball on the penalty spot. He won the penalty and he slotted it straight down the middle to give the away side the lead. Blackburn 0, Sunderland 1.
Jack Clark's 4th of the season as the Black Cats look for a 3rd straight win. Also in the Championship, Millwall have just taken the lead at home to Robber and Ryan Longman with that goal as they look to get the home defeat and Leeds out of their system for the weekend. And we brought you live on Talksport 2. Don't forget Talksport Breakfast from 6 tomorrow. Alan Brazil and Ali McCoy will be joined by Arsenal invincible Emmanuel Petit, looking back on events tonight at the Emirates in the Champions League. So far, so good as far as Arsenal are concerned. They'll also be joined by former Manchester United coach Rennie Meulenstein looking back on this one, and the Welsh rugby winger Shane Williams with the boys tomorrow as well. It's Talksport Breakfast from 6 tomorrow morning. Manchester United have settled well, given a decent account of themselves 12 minutes in, but haven't really been able to get the ball to Harry Kane at all.
No, they certainly haven't. I think he's had 1 or 2 touches. Not much has come from it. A wild pass that went out too far for Sane, but I think both teams are demonstrating that they're not pressing the opposition particularly well, and it's whichever one can make the most of that freedom and space.
And Benfica down to 10 men in their game at home to Salzburg. They've had a poor start, survived a missed penalty, but now Antonio Silva has been sent off, a straight red card. Benfica 0, Salzburg 0 it remains. Here's Kim. Very impressive South Korean centre-half at Bayern side from Napoli, where he had a wonderful first season. Davis in possession for Bayern, but he's still inside his own half. Goes back to Kim Min-jae again. Kimmich dropping deep, splitting the 2 centre-halves, and finally look at Meccano. 4 from him, the blonde-haired Austrian Lima, but he'll seem to gather pace as it ran towards the touchline and evaded the Austrian, goes out of play from Manchester United throw.
We've had 2 or 3 passes just out to this near side from us that have just gathered pace basically and just not been able to get them. And what they're doing, Rashford's tucking in slightly, enabling the ball to go out to the right back, and then from there trying to get beyond Rashford and beyond that 5-man press.
There's no Thomas Tuchel incidentally tonight. He's serving a suspension, so it is Anthony Barry, one-time Chelsea coach, and Zolt Löw who are bellowing instructions. Certainly more bellowing going on from Anthony Barry than from Zolt at the moment, who's sitting very calmly on the bench. Rashford playing it forward down the Manchester United left. Reguilon chasing after it, and Upamecano eased him to the ground. Free kick to Manchester United, out by the left-hand touchline, and about 15 yards from the corner flag.
Yeah, every time United sort of run at the Bayern back line, it asks questions of them, and I've not been convinced by them at this moment in time. And United will be absolutely delighted going there with the injury crisis they've got, and they've had an even share of the game, certainly.
It's now Benfica 0, Salzburg 1, another penalty. Konate missed the first, Rocco Simic has scored the second. So Benfica down to 10 men and the goal down at home to RB Salzburg. That's the other game in the Real Sociedad and Inter Milan group. Sociedad leading that game at the moment. This Manchester United free kick will be a right-footed in-swing. And there are 7 Manchester United players inside that penalty area, and it just drifted over the head of Casemiro, and only just Harry Kane there to head away.
Tell you what, that was as good as a goal from Harry Kane. It really was. That was headed in the far corner, and Harry Kane just recovered his position just to hook it out with his head.
He scored the 300th goal of his club career on Friday. 300 coming up in 505 matches, which is a pretty impressive statistic, all things considered. First Bayern player since Miroslav Klose to score 4 goals in his first 4 Bundesliga games for the club. Manchester United applying the press again. Eriksen leading that this time, along with Hoyland. Upamecano can play through it, find Lima. Lima now, Rashford coming back. Sane wanted the ball into feet. Lima played the ball down the channel for him, and he goes through for the goalkeeper. Another championship goal, this one at Huddersfield. Alan Biggs.
It's Huddersfield 1, Stoke 0. Matty Pearson the scorer from a free kick swung in. Pearson's towering header directed down into the bottom corner. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 0.
If it stays that way, Neil Warnock will end his Huddersfield reign with 3 straight wins. Huddersfield leading Stoke by a goal to 0. Millwall leading Rotherham 1-0. Watford 2, West Brom 2. The other goals in the championship so far. 0-0 with 17 minutes gone between Bayern Munich and Manchester United on Talksport, with United in possession and venturing forward again through the midfield. Pellistri having received it back inside the centre circle, helped on by Casemiro. Bruno Fernandes, Reguilon down towards Rashford. Rashford facing up, and then injection of pace to try and get himself past Lima, and he got the ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but just too far ahead of Hoyland. Alright, will gratefully pounce on it.
Yeah, I think the key to this game, you can see even in these first 15 minutes, is Lima going forward and Rashford going forward for United. So Lima's the outlet, the right back just going beyond Rashford and receiving the ball and setting up attacks. But Rashford, when he gets the ball, as he proved just then, he's got the ability to run beyond Lima defensively.
Yeah, he's a very attacking player. When he plays at right back, he can play. You and I have seen him play in central midfield for Austria, but he has been playing right back over the last couple of games. He started there in the 2-2 draw against Leverkusen. Very good going forward, but defensively does like to push forward and leaves a big gap between himself and Upamecano at centre half. That is where Bayern Leverkusen were able to exploit the Bayern back line on Friday night in a game that ended 2-2, the first points that Bayern have dropped over the course of the season. Another goal at Huddersfield. Quick equaliser, Alan.
Yeah, 2 goals in 3 minutes. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. Disarray in the Huddersfield defence after Pearson had put them ahead. Daniel Johnson profited. It's Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1.
Ball given away by Reguilon. Thought he was fouled. Goretzka picking it up for Bayern, slipping into his left-hand side, but unable to get Gnabry in. And Bruno Fernandes has the ball at his feet and can bring it away. Good movement from Hoyland down the inside right channel. He was expecting the ball to his right. It came to his left, and rolls through for all right. Let's find out how Arsenal are getting on defending that lead. Alex Crook.
It's still Arsenal 1, PSV 0, so nearly a second here. Ødegaard again with a shot from the edge of the penalty area. Walter Benitez very nervous in goal, almost parried it straight to Gabriel Jesus, just about managed to gather it. Arsenal 1, PSV 0.
And a goal at Ewood Park. Mickey Gray.
35 minutes as Harry Leonard with a header from the back stick, great ball into the box, just nodded a past Patterson for the equaliser. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 1.
Harry Leonard with that equaliser for Blackburn, who are looking for a 6 win in 9 tonight against the Sunderland side, who've scored 9 goals in their last 2.5 games, 1 apiece at Ewood Park. 0-0 at the Allianz Arena in Bavaria tonight between Bayern Munich and Manchester United, with Davis, Vancouver boy, in possession on the Bayern left flank. Possession turned over. Davis hobbling away. Bayern have won it back quickly. Kane bringing it forward, just trying to slip it in for Musiala, who will get there first. Looks second favourite for a moment. Lindelof sliding in, timed the block challenge well, puts it out of play for a corner.
Well, I've got to say, this pitch is absolutely lightning quick. Some of the passes that I've seen either played from central out wide or beyond the back line for both teams, and the ball just does not stop.
Corner to be taken by Sane, left-footed, very deep, paddled away by Onana, and he goes out of play for another corner, another goal, and the Emirates' Alex Crook.
This is turning into a stroll for Arsenal. Arsenal 2, PSV 0. Saka the provider this time, teeing up Leandro Trossard to fire home from 16 yards. Arsenal 2, PSV 0.
Saka and Trossard, Arsenal 2 up inside, 20 minutes. In comes the corner from Kimmich, and that's an easy claim for Andre Onana.
Yeah, more than comfortable. First one, taxed him the first corner that come in, had him backpedaling and just paddled it away. The second one that come in was perfect for him, builds his confidence.
He's playing the 300th game of his club career tonight, Onana. Played in the Champions League final last season. So 1 clean sheet for Manchester United so far, which came in that game against Wolves. He was very fortunate not to have a penalty given against him right at the end of the game. United able to build from the back this time. Lindelof laying it back for Onana. A little bit of pressure being applied by Musiala. Onana not wielding in the face of that. Playing it outside the box, Lindelof out to his right-hand side. Now Manchester United will bring it forward quickly with Dalot, but he's given it away. And straight to Sane, who had come into a central midfield position and found himself up against Casemiro for a moment. Bayern get it back again. Kimmich playing it forward. Musiala's got it. Gnabry pointing where he wanted it to go. Lisandro Martinez has got work to do, and he's done it brilliantly. Came back, just nipped in goal side. He was off balance, steered the ball away with his left foot, and then was able to complete the clearance and get Manchester United going again. But that was a potentially nasty moment for him.
Yeah, it was another one of those situations. Once they've gone beyond United's press, they've had opportunities to play through and beyond the back line. That must have been 4 or 5 times that they've played passes. Once again, the ball just run away from the player. It's not holding up in any way, shape or form. You've almost got to take half an ounce off your passes.
Marcus Rashford has fouled Leon Goretzka. And it'll be a free kick that will be taken by Bayern. They've got this extraordinary home record in this competition. They've only conceded 1 goal at home in the Champions League since the start of last season. That was to Erling Haaland. 1 goal in 5 games. They've won the last 13 group games that they've played, home or away, since a draw at Atletico Madrid on match day 5 back in 2020. They've won the last 14 home games they've played in the group. This is a run that goes back to an Ajax draw here in 2018. Their last home defeat in the group stage was in a game that was academic for them. They were already through. They lost to Manchester City 10 years ago. Since then, 26 wins out of 27. Scored 86, conceded 9. So if Manchester United are to lose tonight, and they've had a very good opening quarter to the game, but if they are to lose, you have to look at the result in the context of Bayern's overwhelming domination in the group stage of this competition over the last few years. United have just given a free kick away. It's the worst challenge of the night so far. Reguilon going through lineup.
Yeah, as I say, a really, really impressive run of form. It's fair to say at home, but I've got to say, I don't think I've been wowed by them at these early stages of the game. I really haven't.
A few moments, but nothing more than that. better chances have been created by the visitors. We'll bring him forward with Kim, exchanging passes with Davis. And Kim then for Upamecano, who's in the Leipzig side, beaten heavily at Old Trafford a few seasons ago in the Champions League. And started the World Cup final for France. Here's Kim Min-jae bringing it forward out to the left flank where Davis, I think, is offside. It's a free kick that will be taken by Manchester United level with the edge of their own box. 24 minutes in, and more live football coming up for you over the course of the weekend, including Manchester United's game at Turf Moor. It's Saturday night, kicks off at 8, presented by Talksport's correspondent Faker Brothers with Mickey Gray alongside Sam Matterface for that game. 8 o'clock Saturday night on Talksport. Burnley against Manchester United. United hoping to get back to 3-3 in the Premier League. Victor Lindelof letting the ball run past him after Dalot got to a long ball that was played forward. Reguilon, his first Champions League tie in a Manchester United shirt, and 4 as a Real Madrid player earlier in his career. Now the ball down to the left-hand side for Eriksen. Eriksen swiping it forward. Rashford trying to get the better of Upamecano. Gets a second bite of the cherry. Bruno Fernandes back for Rashford again. And Eriksen deceived by the ball that just went past him. And now here's the pace of Leroy Sané, with which we're most familiar. Bringing it forward, and a very good covering chance from Reguilon, who followed him the width of the pitch. Sané playing on the right wing, finding himself at inside left, and Reguilon went every step of the way with him. Gnabry has it now. Back for Davis. Davis to Kimmich inside his own half of the centre circle. Played across the face of Upamecano. Lima has it. Better possession this from Bayern, and Kane has dropped deep to link up the play, and there's plenty of room for Lima inside the penalty area, getting it across, and a little flick header away from Casemiro spares United's blushes, but so much space for Lima.
Well, as I said earlier, that potentially is the best route of Bayern scoring. Lima, just his starting position is beyond Rashford, and Rashford doesn't really want to do that defensive shift, to be honest with you. By the time he ended up having to go back, it was too late, and the cross had flashed across the face of the goal.
Reguilon still not back in position either, having followed Sané 50 yards infield. Bayern have it again, linking the play with Goretzka. The layoff comes from Musiala. Back to Goretzka again. It's 0-0 here on Talksport with 26 play. Very little between the two sides, really, in the grand scheme of things. Goretzka, back for Upamecano. Play forward towards Kimmich. Kimmich trying to get away from Bruno Fernandes. Lima, back towards halfway. Equaliser for Lens in Seville. Angelo Fucini with that goal. Sevilla 1, Lens 1, which is the other game in Arsenal's group. Arsenal leading 2-0. We'll be back there in a moment. A good play by Bayern, getting it forward again with Davis. They played a no-look pass for Kane, but didn't get there. Upamecano will work it forward. Sané hanging on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, driving into the feet of Kane. Back for Sané. Oh, and it's gone right through Onana and in. And all Manchester United's hard work evaporates with a goalkeeping error. Sané with a low skidding shot, and he had pace, but Onana dived to his left-hand side, and the fact that he's still face down on the turf inside the 6-yard box speaks volumes. It went right through his hands, and it's Bayern Munich 1, Manchester United 0.
Well, nothing in the game, and then it ended up being a horrific goalkeeping error from Onana. Just went down to his left and just paddled it into his own goal almost, but I've got to say, Sané has done brilliantly, coming off the flank, linking up with Kane, and Kane, like all good centre-forward, just stood there and said, roll it into my feet, I'll roll it back to you and you can come on for a shot. Good goal, but avoidable.
Well, Leroy Sané, playing 7 Manchester derbies in his time with City. He scored in his last one. He's scored against the old enemy again tonight, but with more than a bit of luck from his perspective, Onana will not want to see that again. There's so much made about the change of goalkeeper long-term for Manchester United. The criticism that was made of De Gea, whilst he made some stunning saves, was that he was capable of just the odd aberration. and at costly times. And we've just seen exactly that from his replacement. Had that been De Gea who made that error, he would have been roundly berated for it.
Yeah, he certainly would. Well, he makes another couple in the oncoming weeks, he certainly will be. What surprises me is he's made a really bad error there, and then he's got the ball at his feet looking for a pass. If I was one of the Bayern front line, I would be chasing him down at sprint speed, you know. He'll be looking to get his confidence back, and what you want to do is rock it even more.
So a bad start for Manchester United, but a good night for Arsenal so far. Alex Grun.
9 minutes gone, Arsenal 2, PSV 0. The goals from Saka and from Trossard. Arsenal totally dominant in this game. Havertz has blazed over. Benitez in the PSV goal has twice saved well from Jesus. And Gabriel has just fired into the side netting. Arsenal 2, PSV 0.
Live action continues on Talksport 2 from Carrow Road. Norwich against Leicester still 0-0. They played half an hour there. And coming up to half-time in the other championship games. Blackburn and Sunderland 1-1. Huddersfield and Stoke same scoreline. Hull Leeds is goalless. Millwall lead Rotherham 1-0. Watford 2, West Brom 2. So at the moment Millwall the only side ahead in the championship. It might change in first half stoppage time of the games. Pellistri bringing it forward for Manchester United, who've been every bit as good as Bayern so far, but trail by a goal to 0. And Sunderland lead at Ewood Park. Mickey Gray.
They certainly do. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2. Ball comes out to the edge of the 18-yard area from a corner. They don't clear the lines, Blackburn. Dan Neil on his left foot, keeps it low, fires it into the bottom corner. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2.
Thank you, Mick. In the Champions League, Arsenal 2, PSV 0, as we heard from Alex. Benfica down to 10 men and a goal down at home to Salzburg. Braga 0, Napoli 0. Real Sociedad 1, Inter 0. Sevilla 1, Lens 1. And 2 results from earlier. Galatasaray 2, Copenhagen 2 in the other game in Manchester United's group. Galatasaray 2 down with 3 minutes to go in there. And Real Madrid scored in the 4th minute of stoppage time to beat Union Berlin at the Bernabeu. Jude Bellingham making it 6 from 6 for his new club. Well, that brings you up to date with all the goals. 31 minutes gone in this one. Bayern Munich 1, Manchester United 0. Well, what do United need to do to get themselves back into the game? Is it just a question of trying to get that Onana error out of the system, keep the same game plan? Because it's been pretty effective so far.
There's been absolutely nothing between the sides. If anything, United for the away team have been, pretty consistent, I think. Rashford has shown already that he can be a threat on this side of the pitch, but the other side of that is Lema has advanced his position, got on it and set things up from that right back position.
Those are the thoughts of former England captain Stuart Pearce. Rashford chasing a bobbling ball that threatened to get the better of Upamecano, but he rescued the situation effectively enough. And linking up with Sane and then Kim and then Kimmich. Upamecano will get it again. Bayern ahead as they invariably are at home in a Champions League game. Davis. Play force, a really good turn from Musiala. Musiala making his way inside the penalty area. Will try and check and get the better of Dalot. Sets it back for Gnabry. Nothing Onana could do about that one as it speared past him into the bottom right-hand corner. They've scored 2 in 4 minutes, and Bayern Munich lead Manchester United by 2 goals to 0.
Yeah, it's that bit of pace, that electric pace that just drove away from United, and if anything, that's their Achilles heel. And we're just looking at Ten Hag just looking to the ground, shaking his head, and this game has changed all within 5 minutes. This game has totally changed from United having a reasonable start, all of a sudden 2-0 down and in big trouble.
Well, there was nothing Onana could do. But when Erik Ten Hag looks back at it and sees the replay, he will see just how much space Gnabry was in, stood near the penalty spot. It was great play by Musiala. But surely Eriksen should have been much closer to Gnabry than he was.
Well, it's that lack of pace from Eriksen and Casemiro on the recovery that is their Achilles heel at this moment in time, I think. And to be fair, Gnabry was absolutely outstanding with his drive. Musiala was absolutely outstanding with his drive, and he was the one who created all the space.
First goal of the season for the former Arsenal man who once netted 4 in the second half of the Champions League tie at Spurs. One of the players that won this competition the last time that Bayern were successful in 2020. And he's made it 2-0. Sane on 28, Gnabry on 32. Manchester United undone by that goalkeeping error. It has unravelled pretty quickly since then. Sandro Martinez bringing it forward. Rashford with a little layoff. Down for Reguilon. Rashford has it again. Pull back for Reguilon near the corner of the penalty area. Casemiro in. Reguilon across the face of goal. And somehow it evaded both Højlund and Pellistri coming in. And he goes out of play for a goal kick.
Outstanding movement there by Reguilon. Little 1-2 give and go, and off he went and drove into the box, and he's pulled it just across the face of goal. Maybe a shot on goal might have been the better option, but a tight angle.
Half-time whistles blowing in the Championship to Vicarage Road, Ian Abrahams.
Watford 2, West Brom 2, curling efforts from Tom Ince and Matthias Martins, in between, or after goals rather, from Jed Wallace and John Smith with a magical free kick. Great game here, Watford 2, West Brom 2.
Yeah, belting game there, 2-2. Manchester United's match in Munich, very entertaining as well, but after an excellent first 25 minutes, it's been a torrid last 7 or 8. 2-0 down. They now have a free kick. But you think that the chances are created. Reguilon with that cross across the face of the 6-yard box that nobody could get on the end of. The double chance in the opening 4 or 5 minutes that Eriksson and Pellistri might have done better. This could be a very, very different night.
Yeah, as I say, United, well, it's difficult to say, they haven't done a lot wrong, but their Achilles heel at this moment in time is the lack of pace when people run away from them, and they're too easy to play against. That is certainly evident in the Premier League at this moment in time, as it's been evident tonight.
Half-time of the Championship, Millwall leading Rotherham 1-0. Free kick then to United on the right-hand side. 10 minutes to go to half-time. Bayern with a very high line, 8 yards outside the box. They'll drop back in now. Upamecano heads the Eriksson delivery away. Rashford plays it back. And Reguilon back inside his own half for Dalot. Dalot flicked forward by Casemiro. Brought down well by Pellistri, and the Uruguayan. The shock of dark hair can turn. Fernandes, Lindelof still forward, and then Fernandes has done his best to put that on the motorway. Has gone so far over the bar.
I think you'll find it was an auto-bound, but let's not split hairs on a dual carriageway, shall we?
It was auto-bound for the autobahn, wasn't it? It was still going. Coming to a back garden near you anytime soon. Half-time at Ewood Park. Mickey Graham.
Yeah, it's finished here at half-time. It's Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2. Sunderland taking the lead on 28 minutes through Jack Clark. The equaliser coming from Harry Leonard's header on 35 minutes. But just on the stroke of half-time, Dan Neil with his left foot fired low into the bottom corner. Tony Mowbray, the happier of the two managers in the dressing room at half-time. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2.
Mick, did you manage to sit on your hands okay?
I'm trying, mate.
Fernandes playing the ball out to the right-hand side here for Manchester United. Pellistri to Dalot. Dalot's ball back in. Pellistri will be able to turn inside the box. And it goes out to the Manchester United right once more. High looping ball in from him, and the header goes across the face of goal and wide. Højlund climbing high, but he couldn't get enough on it to divert it inside the left-hand post. Next half-time in the Championship at Hull. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Hull 0, Leeds 0. Hull dominating, 2 great chances. The first for Jorginho, played in from halfway. He's one-on-one with the keeper. Allsop did really well, stayed on his feet, and in the end saved with his feet. And then Allsop again into the action, saved well from Somerville, who's on for a first-half sub for Nonto. All Leeds, but at the break, Hull 0, Leeds 0.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Still 0-0 in our live game over on Talksport 2 right now. Norwich against Leicester. That's a fourth play third. Bayern in possession inside their own penalty area with Sven Ulreich. Ulreich, who played the last 3 group games of last season, played a semi-final back in 2018, but not a goalkeeper who's been hugely raced in the Champions League in the years of deputising behind Manuel Neuer. Upamecano back to the goalkeeper again. Neuer suffering a setback incidentally in his recovery from that skiing accident, which has ruled him out of 2023 completely so far. They have possession back inside their own half again by just trying to draw Manchester United onto them. There's another goal at the Emirates. What a first half for Arsenal. Alex Crook.
A dream return to the Champions League. Arsenal 3, PSV 0. Gabriel Jesus with a fine finish. Trossard with a cross from the left-hand side. Jesus had the time to bring the ball down inside the area and rifled it into the far corner. Arsenal 3, PSV 0.
Slightly different night from the last that Arsenal had in the Champions League back in March 2017 when They were beaten 5-1 by Bayern. The result tonight, it won't be worth the years that they had out of the Champions League for them, but back and back with a bang tonight. Arsenal 3, PSV 0, and remember, it is a PSV side unbeaten in 26 games in all competitions, but dismantled in the first period in North London tonight. Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 0. It remains. Half-time whistle's gone as Huddersfield as well now. Alan Biggs.
Yeah, Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. Those goals inside 2 minutes. Matty Pearson and Daniel Johnson. Stoke have also twice had efforts disallowed for offside. Wide open game. Too fast for the referee Darren Bond. He pulled a muscle. Substitute referee Tom Reeves. He's come on from being fourth official. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1.
6 minutes to go to half-time for Manchester United, trailing 2-0 after goals from Sane and Gnabry in a 4-minute spell. Victor Lindelof has the ball at his feet inside his own penalty area, goes back for Onana, and Onana will clear towards halfway.
Yeah, as I say, I think Ten Hag's mentality at this moment in time will be, can we just stabilise the game, get in at half-time? The worry that he'll have is a capitulation from United is the last thing that they're going to need, certainly for let alone their Champions League credentials, but their Premier League credentials as well.
Well, in terms of the stats, 56-44 possession in terms of Bayern. Might have expected it to be something along those lines. 3 attempts apiece, 2 shots on goal for Bayern, but they've both gone in. Just a 1 for United so far. The XG, for those that read things into XG, it's only 0.4 against 0.2 at the moment. So that gives you an idea just how close it has been, with everything apart from the goalkeeping error and the fact that nobody picked up Gnabry 12 yards out for the second goal.
There's been two actions in the game, and it's both involved Bayern Munich players picking the ball up and going at pace, either playing 1-2s or running past people with high energy, and that's been the difference between the two sides. That's created and scored the goals.
So Gnabry has it again inside the penalty area. He'll continue his runs, poked away by Lindelof. Shot comes in from Goretzka from distance. That one was blocked as well. Now Davis for Gnabry getting to the byline. Kane desperately to be pulled back to him, but United are able to smuggle it clear to Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the penalty area, and he gets it forward towards halfway. But when Bayern do run at the United backline with intent, it frightens everybody of the United perspective. The ball cleared by Reguilon this time. Rashford back for Eriksen. Eriksen to Martinez. Martinez to Dalot, back for Lindelof. Lindelof will control it inside. D on the edge of his own penalty area. Nana playing it forward, but he's missed a simple ball out towards Casemiro. One back by Sane. Manchester United then get it back as Sane's progressive ball was cut out. Rashford chasing after a long ball, put down the left-hand side. It's very well defended by Upamecano. Great upper body strength just to stay between Rashford and the ball, and shepherded over the line. Now to play for a goal kick. 3.5 time, 2-0 back.
Yeah, the game settled down. An opportunity there to counter-attack with Rashford going and Fernandes looking to play that early ball, but those options should be fairly limited with Bayern having their nose in front now.
It's going to be a real mixed bag of a sports bar tonight. Arsenal jubilation and Manchester United frustration if it stays the way that it is at the moment. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy will be taking your calls on 03717223344 to allow you to react to tonight's games. Arsenal 3 up, Manchester United 2 down. They're both approaching half-time. Dalot down the Manchester United right. Getting a return ball from Pelistri. They play back towards Lindelof. Lindelof to the edge of the centre circle, forward to Sandro Martinez. Reguilon trying a little 1-2 with Rashford. Some of those have come off beautifully. That one didn't. Upamecano, and over the top once more. And again, Reguilon is absolutely A1 as the ball is played into Sane. Sane to the feet of Musiala on the edge of the penalty area. He can't turn, but it will still be laid back for Sane. Down towards Musiala again on the right-hand side of the box. Sane taking a couple of steps back, receives a pass. Goretzka goes back behind square for Kim. Davis is brought into it now, and Manchester United have regained their defensive shape. But that's happened 2 or 3 times, and it's often been Reguilon who's been the man that they've been able to play in behind.
And a lot of that's down to the fact of Rashford's quite happy to do his attacking work, which so he should. He's an outstanding attacking player, but he's enabling Lamar just to get the other side of him and set up overloads.
Martinez, 15 yards inside his own half. It's the one shot on target for Manchester United so far. Back for Dalot. Dalot to Lindelof. Wasn't that long ago Manchester United had this sparkling away record. They went Premier League campaign without losing a game away from home, but travails on their travels have increased. We've seen plenty of it in an attacking context, looking for Højlund, couldn't find him, diving upright, could make the save, and bowled it out towards Gnabry on the left. This will be a third straight away defeat to start the season for Manchester United. Last season away from home, playing against sides that finished in the top 9 in the Premier League, so that was 8 other games. United took just 1 point. Here's Sane again now, running at Reguilon this time, getting on to his left foot, curling it, and only a fraction wide.
See, on the left-hand side for United, you've got Rashford, who doesn't really want to defend. You've got Reguilon, who sees his best work is going forward, so by the time he gets back, he wants to blow, and Sane's saying, no, you're not going to have a rest, I'm coming after you. And it's almost, we're either going to score 4 or concede 4 football.
Well, there's plenty of whip on that effort from Leroy Sané, just couldn't quite get it to curl enough. Deadlock broken in our live game on Talksport 2 with a Kelechi Iheanacho penalty, giving Leicester the lead at Norwich. And the EFL coverage continues right now over on Talksport 2. Also on Talksport 2 tomorrow, more European action. Liverpool go to Austria to take on Lask Linz. That kicks off at 5:45 on Talksport 2 tomorrow. Manchester United midway through the 1 additional minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half, and they're trying to put the pressure on the Bayern back line, stringing the passes along that back line inside their own penalty area. Upamecano looking for Lima. Bruno Fernandes won it back. Eriksen to Rashford. Late goal at the end of the first half would change the complexion of the game in United's favour. Barely time for them to get it in though. Reguilon to Fernandes. Swedish referee looks at his watch and will signal half-time. And Manchester United's attack comes to nothing. For the first 25 minutes, they laid down a really solid platform tonight. Everything was going well until the speculative Leroy Sané shot went right through the hands of Onana. They then didn't pick up Gnabry 4 minutes later. He scored to double the lead. Sané could have made it 3 right at the end. And although Manchester United had some isolated chances, they haven't been able to create enough. And this one going as many of the United fans feared it would. Half-time, it's Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 0.
We're still playing here at the Emirates. Arsenal 3-0 up and absolutely cruising. And Stuart Pearce, while Arsenal can choose between 2 quality goalkeepers, Man United have got a keeper throwing the ball into his own net. That really was a shambles for Andre Onana, and it kind of set the ball rolling, didn't it?
Well, it did, because there was nothing to choose between the teams, Abe, to be quite honest with you. Then all of a sudden, a little bit of electric pace to set up the opportunity in the shot. The shot weren't a great shot by any means, but the goalkeeper made a real hash of it, and when it hit the back of the net, you could see it punctured the confidence of United. And you know, they're being threatened down their left-hand side, but they're creating down their left-hand side as well, United. So the trouble is they're 2-0 down now, and the way the game's going, you can see Bayern just dictating the tempo of the game, getting Lamar forward and Sane forward on that right-hand side for them, and United, you know, Rashford doesn't want to go back and help out really, so Reguilon is getting forward when he can, but being isolated too many times on his own.
Yeah, some serious problems there. Listen, I've got to mention, I know it's a keeper mistake, but the little layoff from Harry Kane, he's been strong holding off his defender, laid it off perfectly into the path of Sane. It's not the greatest shot, but that was just a little bit of unselfish magic from Harry Kane.
That is top quality centre-forward play. Plant yourself, pin the defender and say, just roll it into my feet and I'll set it back to you, so you don't have to break stride and put it in the back of the net. The bottom line is it looks very easy, but top players make things look easy.
Gnabry's goal is just all about terrible defending, isn't it?
I think Masuala's driving at the defence has shown a little bit of lack of pace in the centre of midfield. and that's what caused them a problem. Then all of a sudden, Gnabry's in acres of space because a player has gone past 2 or 3, and you've got to come across and cover, but far too much room, and they look pretty fragile on occasion, United.
Stuart, we'll leave it there, and Manchester United work to do in the second half if they're to get anything tonight from the Allianz. Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 0 at half-time. Leroy Sané after an error from Onana in goal, and Serge Gnabry with the second for Bayern Munich. The other game in that group finished 2-2. FC Copenhagen were 2-0 up. Galatasaray with 2 goals late on after Copenhagen were reduced to 10 men. That'll result from a 5:45, 2 apiece. In Group B, Sevilla 1, Lens 1 is a half-time score, and it's been an absolute cruise for Arsenal here at the Emirates in the first half. Alex Crook.
Arsenal 3, PSV Eindhoven 0. The Gunners loving every second of their return to the Champions League after a 6-year hiatus. Bukayo Saka took just 8 minutes to mark his debut in the competition with the opening goal. Captain Martin Ødegaard saw his shot from the edge of the penalty area parried back into the danger zone by Walter Benitez in the PSV goal, and there was Saka to rifle home from the corner of the 6-yard box to become Arsenal's first Champions League goal scorer since Theo Walcott. 12 minutes later, Saka turned provider, picking out Leandro Trossard just on the edge of the area, and he swept him beautifully into the bottom corner to make it 2-0. And 7 minutes before half-time, Trossard with a looping cross towards the far post, brought down brilliantly by Gabriel Jesus before he rocketed his shot into the top corner. PSV, 26 games unbeaten in all competitions before tonight. I don't know who they've been playing. They have been dreadful. Arsenal 3, PSV 0.
Well, that's an understatement, Alex. And I just want to talk to you about how bad PSV have been. We said before the game that their coach, Peter Bosz, looks like Erik ten Hag. He's coaching like Erik ten Hag as well. How Rangers conceded 7 over two legs to this rabble, I don't know. This is one of the worst coach sides I think I've ever seen in the Champions League. PSV Eindhoven basically have no midfield. In defence, Bela Kotchap, who was at Southampton last season, went diving in for the first goal in the centre circle, from which point there was no chance Arsenal were going to get a goal or something very close to being a goal. In the end, the keeper doesn't know where to parry the ball. It's like they've never heard of Bukayo Saka. Jordan Teze making... he was marking nobody. Trossard's right behind him before he scores the goal, completely in space, and he just doesn't seem to be aware that he's there. Absolutely clueless PSV Eindhoven, gigantic gaps in midfield, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. On their left, the Arsenal right, with where Saka is, Serginho Dest, who's meant to be a really good player, ex-Barcelona, USA international, and Bosagli. On that side, PSV, they've got no idea what's going on. There's no defensive brain cell between them. This is one of the worst sides I've ever seen at this level.
I think it's the gap between the fullbacks and the wide players. Actually going forward, Noah Long, when he's been in possession down the left-hand side, and on the other flank, Bakayoko turned down that move to Brentford. They've looked like they could make something happen, but they've got no interest at all in tracking back. As a result of that, Arsenal have just ran riot out wide and in midfield. And a lot was made of the fact that David Raya was selected in goal tonight ahead of Aaron Ramsdale. Let's be brutally honest, he had a shot to save down low to his right in the first minute, David Raya. Apart from that, he's been a spectator. You could have played in goal and the scoreline wouldn't have changed.
Yeah, listen, he's going to get another clean sheet because they're useless. But PSV, there was one moment before, I think it was the second goal, when their move broke down, attacking move broke down. Arsenal flooded forward, got the goal, and PSV had left 4 players up and they were ambling back. They weren't even jogging. They are an absolute mess. And I think listen, if the coach isn't tearing a strip off them, then he's not doing his job properly. They're an absolute shambles, a disgrace, PSV Eindhoven. Arsenal, though, have properly put them to the sword. And these fans in here have absolutely loved that first half. Carries on like this, I have no doubt. It could even get into double figures. PSV have been that bad. Arsenal 3, PSV Eindhoven 0. Manchester Manchester United 2-0 down away to Bayern Munich. Elsewhere, Group C, Real Madrid beat Union Berlin 1-0. Braga 0, Napoli 1, Giovanni Di Lorenzo right on a half-time for the Italian champions. Group D, Benfica 0, RB Salzburg 1. That's a Rocco Simic penalty after Kevin Casante had missed a penalty for Salzburg early in the game. Antonio Silva sent off for giving away the second penalty. So Benfica down to 10 and a goal down at home. Quarter-finalists last 2 seasons. Sociedad 1, Inter Milan 0. And the Championship, Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. Hull 0, Leeds 0. Millwall 1, Rotherham 0. Watford 2, West Brom 2. And Norwich 0, Leicester 1. Live on Talksport 2. Kelechi Iheanacho with the only goal. You're listening to Talksport.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Get more spicy in your life with a free McSpicy. This is actually quite spicy. Simply download the McDonald's app to sign up and by redeeming 5,500 rewards points, you too could enjoy a McSpicy. Has anyone got any water? 18 plus, only via app at participating restaurants. Redeem points on selected items. Serving times and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Hey, sweetie, do you know what Mummy wants for her birthday?
Yes, a new Volvo. This September you can save up to £11,500 on their mild hybrid, plug-in hybrid and electric cars.
That's very specific. Did Mummy tell you to say this?
No.
OK, and your birthday's coming up too, sweetheart. What do you really want?
A new Volvo. This September you can save up to £11,500 across the range. Oh, and there's up to 4 years free servicing too, Daddy.
Right, I see what's going on here. Anna!
Order online or at your local Volvo retailer by the end of September for these and other attractive offers.
Participating retailers. Savings vary by model. Figure based on XC90 plug-in hybrid. Servicing offer on selected new cars. Excludes the X30 and the X90. Terms apply.
Helen opened her Amazon parcel. Her stomach filled with butterflies, rapid air technology, and a grill mode feature. This air fryer tickled Helen's taste buds for a price lower than she'd ever imagined. 5 stars from Helen. Find star-rated products at star prices. Start your search on Amazon today.
More Than's vet phone service.
Hi, I'm calling about Sausage.
Sausage?
Sausage, my dog.
Oh.
Is it normal Sausage barks in his sleep?
Well,
Is it normal he chases golf balls?
Yes, don't worry. Sausage is perfectly normal.
With VetPhone's veterinary professionals on hand to help you and your pets 24/7. Search More Than Pet Insurance.
If you've spent money on tools, clothing, travel or food for work, you could be due $3,000 on average back from the taxman. Search Rift Tax Refunds today. Get that Rift refund feeling.
Did you know that Sky Mobile has 99% network coverage? That means...
Dads, like me.
Commuters like me.
And farmers like...
Yep, they all get 99% network coverage on Sky Mobile. Hello, Possible.
4G outdoor network available to 99% of UK population.
With UK Export Finance, I'm fulfilling more export orders from around the world with working capital support.
Export insurance means I'll get paid when exporting to challenging markets.
At UK Export Finance, we believe no viable UK export should fail for lack of finance or insurance. Between 2022 and 2023, we provided £6.5 billion of government-backed trade finance to support UK exports. Learn how we could help you win export contracts, fulfil orders and get paid. Search UK Export Finance today.
Imagine how it'd feel to win £10,000. Like you'd smashed it. With Set for Life, you could win £10,000 every month for 30 years. Set for Life from the National Lottery. Play on the app. Prize may be capped. Account terms, rules, procedures and game-specific rules apply. Players must be 18 or over. Hey, sweetie, do you know what Mummy wants for her birthday?
Yes, a new Volvo. This September you can save up to £11,500 on their mild hybrid, plug-in hybrid and electric cars.
That's very specific. Did Mummy tell you to say this?
No.
OK, and your birthday's coming up too, sweetheart. What do you really want?
A new Volvo. This September you can save up to £11,500 across the range. Oh, and there's up to 4 years free servicing too, Daddy.
Right, I see what's going on here. Anna!
Order online or at your local Volvo retailer by the end of September for these and other attractive offers.
Participating retailers. Savings vary by model. Figure based on XC90 plug-in hybrid. Servicing offer on selected new cars. Excludes the X30 and the X90. Terms apply.
On digital radio and 1089 and 1053 AM.
What a goal!
UEFA Champions League football.
A brilliant goal!
Live on Talksport.
So half-time on Talksport 2, it's Norwich 0, Leicester City 1. Leicester going back second in the Championship if it stays like that. Kelechi Iheanacho with the only goal towards the end of that first half. That's live on Talksport 2. On Talksport, it's Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 0, and the show coming to you live from the Emirates, where Arsenal are in cruise control, 3-0 up against the sad and sorry PSV side. Arsenal have been brilliant in that first half. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, United now 55-1 to win in Munich. The draw is 16-1. Bayern Munich 25-1 on to win. Over on Talksport 2, Norwich 0, Leicester 1, Norwich 5-1 to win, Leicester 5-3 on. The draw is 5-2. And here, PSV to get a draw here at the Emirates from 3-0 down, 100-1. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, that Norwich 0, Leicester 1 game is an 8 o'clock kickoff, so second half to come live on Talksport 2. Others in the Championship at 7:45, so let's go round the grounds to Ewood Park first of all. What's the latest in the second half? Mickey Gray.
53 minutes gone still. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2. They just come close themselves with a right foot shot from Joe Bellingham, but Blackburn are knocking on the door. Lewis Travis had a great strike from 25 yards. Well saved by Anthony Patterson in that Sunderland goal. We're definitely not finished with the goals in this game, Ed. It's been absolutely fantastic. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2.
How's the Neil Warnock farewell going at the John Smith, Alan Biggs?
Yeah, and it's running late actually. We're just in the 50th minute. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. That stoppage time, nothing to do with time wasting. It was simply the referee being injured and getting the fourth official up and ready to take over in the middle of what is a very lively game. Those goals coming midway in the first half in quick succession. Matty Pearson's header for Huddersfield. Daniel Johnson's close range finish after Nichols, the Huddersfield keeper, had spilled a shot from Tyrese Campbell. Also, Stoke had the ball in the net a couple of times and they were disallowed for offside. So Huddersfield and Neil Warnock got away with one, I think, in the first half. They're looking a bit more positive so far in the second. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1.
What's happening at the MKM in the Yorkshire Derby, Mark Wilson?
It's still Hull 0, Leeds 0. Leeds 2 great chances first half. Jorginho played in from halfway. Almost had too long to think about it in the end. Allsop saved well. Allsop denies Somerville with a flying save as well. And then straight from the kick-off, Leeds another 2 chances. James and Somerville again denied by blocks on the 6-yard line. Hull have not offered too much going the other way. Leeds have had 13 shots at goal. You feel it's a matter of time. We've had 7 gone second half. Hull 0, Leeds 0.
And Watford taking on West Brom at Vicarage Road. It's been goals galore, Ian Abrams.
They have. 11 minutes in the second half gone. Still Watford 2, West Brom 2. Goals from Ince and Martins for the Hornets in between times. An equaliser from Swift, and Jim Wallace scored as well. And very nearly a third Albion goal a couple of minutes ago, Adrian. Thomas Asante with a shot tipped over by Daniel Batman. The weather is horrific. The game is fantastic. Watford 2, West Brom 2.
Well, remember Onana pre-season in the USA when he stormed out to have a pop at Harry Maguire after conceding a goal? Well, imagine a United player charging towards Onana after that blunder for the first goal tonight and laying into him in front of everyone watching. You know it wouldn't happen. United 2 down to Bayern Munich. Work to do in the second half. Live on Talksport with Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot.
Trading by 2 goals to 0. We're just waiting for the resumption of the game. It is Manchester United that get us underway in their change kit, the black and white stripes, kicking from left to right. And what feels now, as we start the second half with no changes in personnel, Stuart Pearce, like an exercise in damage limitation to a large extent already.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if the next goal in the game comes for Bayern, we'll see a big downturn in United's confidence, I'm sure. But at this moment in time, it looks a comfortable evening's work for Bayern. But United will need to get the next goal if they can, and the best option of that will be Reguilon and Rashford on that left-hand side, potentially.
Dalot, Fernandes, Pellistri, Lindelof, when he gets on the end of it, has to play a hurried ball forward. Lima can head that one down towards the touchline and turn it away from Rashford. And a play for a throw that Manchester United have taken quickly. Lima did well to recover, having initially been out of position. He drives it then off Rashford, and he goes out of play for a throw. This is how they line up. Bayern, Ulreich in goal, Lima, Upamecano, Kim and Davis, Kimmich and Goretzka, Sane, Musiala and Gnabry and Kane. Manchester United and Nana in goal, Dalot, Lindelof, Martinez and Reguilon, Casemiro and Eriksen, Pellistri, Fernandes, Rashford and Højlund, who has been suffocated with service so far this evening. As in now, though, Manchester United's number 11 taking it down towards the touchline, letting it run out of play for a throw that he will leave, and he'll vacate the touchline and make his way inside the penalty area. Højlund, the £72 million arrival from Atalanta, 6 goals in 12 European ties in his career coming into tonight. But they can't supply with the ball there either, as the referee's whistle has gone, and it will be a Bayern ball. Goal in the Championship in East London, Millwall leading Rotherham by 2 goals to nil. Ian Fleming, the Dutchman, doubling the lead. Rotherham destined to be 1-10 at the end of the night in the bottom 4. Manchester United take a throw, work it back inside their own half. Lindelof finding Diogo Dalot, who played in both legs of United's quarter-final with Barcelona 5 years ago. It's not the worst ball forward, and dealt with effectively enough. In the end, by the Bayern back line, Kim getting it away. Just ducked his head in there. Bruno Fernandes was at liberties to go for that. He didn't kick Kim, he kicked the ball into him. He goes out of play for a throw that will be taken by United on the right. Dalot, Bruno Fernandes trying to meet it and then turn it forward all in one motion. And the referee spotted another infringement, giving a free kick against Kane. And United in a hurry to get on with things.
Just going back to that recovery challenge by Kim there, very, very good challenge, I've got to say. At the ground up to get goal side of Fernandes to deal with any danger.
Played well at the World Cup. He was brilliant for Napoli last season as he helped them to their first Scudetto in decades. €50 million signing for Bayern. He's had a decent start to life in the Bundesliga as well. Manchester United bring it forward here. Rashford, Højlund, and there's one back. And Rasmus Højlund scores his first Manchester United goal, just to throw them a lifeline. Hardly had a sniff of the ball tonight, but one chance on his left foot is all it's taken. And Manchester United are back in the game.
Well, I think when you compare both centre-forwards in the game today, both obviously differing ages, but Kane not done a great deal, I would say, in the game, but set a goal up for his team, and Højlund there on the turn, on the swivel, a great finish, slight deflection, just unhinged the goalkeeper, and United have got a lifeline.
He was on the turn, the ball slightly behind him, flicked it with his left foot, and it just came off the left heel of Kim. Now the deflection didn't spin it too much to the right-hand side, but it was very significant. Just took it away from the goalkeeper, Sven, all right. So Manchester United back in it, trailing by 2 goals to 1 now here on Talksport. But work to do defensively, because the counter-attack is on, and Sane's running at Lindelof, and he finds Musiala, and his shot deflects off Dalot, with the goalkeeper wrong-footed, and it went inches wide.
Well, United had just got themselves in a game, and Eriksen delayed in midfield. In the end, the ball was taken off him. Attackers running on beyond Casemiro, exposing that lack of pace in the centre of the pitch, and a deflection just took it wide of the post.
So the first corner of the second half, and Joshua Kimmich will come across to take it with 5 minutes into the second period. United have got one back, trailing 2-1, corner very deep, headed down, now it hit Christian Eriksen, and the Bayern fans are appealing that it hit him on the arm, and the referee has said please delay the restart, because I'm listening to the conversation from the VAR. It's the Dutchman Paul van Berkel looking at it, and I think that will be given as a penalty. It's an Upamecano header, it's hit Eriksen from close range. Now the left arm is up, and it's hit him on the left hand. I don't think that would be given in the Premier League match, but in Europe those often are given, and they're still looking at it, and the longer they look at it, the more you think that United are going to have a case to answer.
Well, he certainly had his arm up and away from his body, but the fact it was very, very close range, yeah, I'll tell you what, I think I'd give it. I really would. He's had his arm out, and I think the referee is going to give it as well. He's certainly going to have a look at it, Jim.
Yeah, he's going to have a look at the monitor first, but I can't see Manchester United getting a reprieve here. It's going to be a handball from Eriksson, and I'm sure it will be a penalty. The first thing he looks at is a still, and then he sees the header in slow motion from Upamecano hitting Eriksson. But the interpretation in Europe has been very clear for a while. If the ball hits the arm in the penalty area, the arm is out to Eriksson's left-hand side. Whether you think that's a natural position or not, the fact that the arm is away from the body and the ball hits him, this will be given. And indeed it is. Penalty to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, the more angles we got of that, Jim, the more the arm looked as though it was away from the body. And it's such a cheap penalty to give away, it really is. The ball come across the far post. Eriksson was taking his eye off the ball, basically, and got too close to the player. And it's Harry Kane with the ball in his hands, looking to get on the score sheet.
Penalty conceded by one of Kane's former Tottenham teammates, Christian Eriksen. They played hundreds of games together, and Kane now with the opportunity to capitalise on his friend's error, restore Bayern Munich's 2-goal cushion only 4 minutes after Rasmus Højlund had got Manchester United back into this game. Kane has scored 5 goals against United in the past, but only at a rate of 1 every 4 games. But golden opportunity from the spot to make it 5 in 6 appearances for his new club. It's Harry Kane against Andre Onana. Can Onana get one of his strikes back by denying Kane here? Kane running up, hits it right foot into the bottom left-hand corner with pace and precision. He scores against Manchester United, the club who were desperate to sign him. But he went to Bayern Munich and he scored a goal that will help break Manchester United hearts. Bayern 3, Manchester United 1. Harry Kane from the spot.
Well, United, having just got that lifeline after half-time, got the goal back in the game, you know, just switched off momentarily later, and all of a sudden they've got that mountain to climb again. I've got to say, wonderful penalty from Harry Kane. Pulled it across his body with his right foot right into the corner. Goalkeeper could do nothing about it.
Starts his 4th century of club goals with one that will mean a lot to him. His 22nd goal in 33 Champions League ties. Thomas Muller there celebrating the great and the good of Bayern Munich, delighted with what they've seen. That goal coming just 4 minutes after Højlund had got Manchester United back into the game. Bayern Munich 3, Manchester United 1. Let's go to the MKM. There's been a red card for Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Hull 0, Leeds 0, but Hull down to 10. Joe Rodon booked at the end of the first half. He's just put a strong challenge in on Connolly. It was late. No hesitation from the referee. 2 yellows and a red. Half an hour left. Hull 0, Leeds 0.
So Leeds down to 10 in that game with half an hour to hang on against Liam Rosenior's Hull, who've had a decent start to the season. Only 1 defeat in their last 9 league games either side of the summer break. Leeds unbeaten 5 going into that one. Down to 10 after Joe Rodon was sent off. 3-1 Bayern Munich lead. You're with Talksport, Jim Crawford and Stuart Pearce, the former England captain, talking you through the action. As Davis plays the ball down towards Gnabry, the scorer of the second goal, into Jamal Musiala. Musiala twisting and turning, dropping the shoulder, getting the better of Eriksson. It's a good reverse ball inside the penalty area, and it could have been 4. Came back off the post. Leroy Sané with the effort across the face of the goalkeeper, and it smacked the left hand upright and went to safety for Manchester United, who are in danger of falling apart.
Well, anybody that's got any pace that runs in and around United is causing untold problems. Once again, that run from Musiala across the pitch, went past Casemiro, went past Eriksson, and all of a sudden United are at 6s and 7s.
Here's Davis. Back down towards Gnabry. Elsewhere in the Champions League, Benfica, who are down to 10 men, are 2 down now at home to RB Salzburg, who are going to be extending their unbeaten run to 23 games in all competitions. And another goal in the Championship at Huddersfield. Alan Biggs.
Huddersfield 1, Stoke 2. The Potters have come from behind to lead. They've struck from a corner in this second half. A great climbing header from Ben Wilmot. Got up well, glanced it superbly. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 2.
Back-to-back defeats for Stoke going into that. Back-to-back wins for Huddersfield, but the form book may be overturned. Huddersfield 1 up, but now find themselves 2-1 down in Neil Warnock's last game in charge. Plenty of speculation that Darren Moore could be the new Huddersfield boss. Here's Musiala. Goes down to the left-hand side. Davis twisting, turning, getting away from Pellistri. Back he goes for Kimmich. Kimmich will angle a ball at 45 degrees forward for Gnabry. Gnabry is a little bit brisk with the pass down the left-hand side of the area for Davis. A little bit of respite for Manchester United. A chance for a quick breather as they take a goal kick. We've seen goal at each end in the opening 8 minutes of the second half. And it's Bayern Munich 3, Manchester United 1.
They're sat at this moment in time. The ball's just cannoned off the post there, and if that would have hit the back of the net at 4-1, you fear for United and the scoreline.
Kimmich to take this latest Bayern corner, raises his right arm above his head. Very congested 6-yard box, about 16, 17 players in there. Swung in very deep away from the 6 and headed clear by Eriksson, out of play for a throw. Sane will watch it go over the line. And out of play for a throw to Bayern Munich on their right. He was looking to take it quickly, a little bit frustrated that a couple of his teammates weren't on the same wavelength, so he leaves it in the end for Konrad Laimer, who signed on a Bosman from RB Leipzig over the summer. He only made his full league debut for Bayern on Friday. Player whose last Champions League appearance ended in a 7-0 loss to Manchester City, but a better night for him tonight. Here's Davis. 13 gone in the second half, Bayern 3, United 1. Kim, back for Upamecano. The pressure from Højlund, who's broken his Manchester United duck tonight. Sane coming infield off the right-hand side, setting up Kane. Kane back towards Sane, but Dalot was able to stretch and clear. And now Reguilon can bring it away. We've seen less from Reguilon in terms of marauding runs down that left flank, which has at least restricted one of the problems that Manchester United were suffering in the first half. But as a result, they haven't really had as much attacking impetus as they did have. Those combinations when they were going forward between him and Rashford were effective. The problem was what happened when the ball got turned over.
They were effective for both teams, Jim. You know, effective for United, but also Bayern as well.
Fernandes taking a throw into the feet of Rashford at close range. Back for Fernandes. Now for another Manchester United throw. Too far short of the hour mark. Have it in the centre of midfield. We'll be back at Arsenal in a moment. They still lead 3-0. Dalot trying to get away from Serge Gnabry. Back inside his own half again for Martinez. Martinez can take the ball on the half turn. Reguilon gets it back, and his left-footed effort curved across the face of the 6-yard box. Evades his teammates and the far post, but he got himself into a good position again.
Yeah, he certainly did. It was Rashford there taking Lamar on and absolutely skinned him for pace. Great pullback as well, but the finish was just pulled, sliced if you like, across the face of goal.
It's a 3-1 Bayern leading Manchester United with an hour gone. What's been going on in the opening exchange in the second half at Arsenal, Alex Crew?
It's still Arsenal 3, PSV 0, a largely subdued start to this second half. In fact, Arsenal are making a couple of changes in preparation for Sunday's North London derby. Trossard and Zinchenko making way, coming on Tomiyasu and Reece Nelson. Arsenal 3, PSV 0.
Casemiro with a high up and under towards the edge of the 6-yard box, which is cleared by the Bayern back line. Gnabry will chest it down and he can volley it away. It goes out of play for a Manchester United throw. Tomorrow night on Talksport 2, Liverpool go to Austria to take on Lask Linz. That takes off at 5:45. And then here on Talksport Friday night, England against Scotland in the Women's Nations League, a game being played at Sunderland Stadium of Light. Live here on Talksport, Joe Shannon and the former lead striker Lucy Ward talking through the action in the company of Faye Carruthers. That's Friday night, 7:45. England women against their Scottish counterparts in the Nations League at the Stadium of Light live on TalkSport. 29 minutes to go in this one. Eriksson waving Dalot forward. Dalot down the line. Pellistri chasing after it. They're trying to get the better of Kim, who was too difficult to navigate. Kim's clearance, half cleared. Davis able to get his foot on the ball on the edge of the area and then turns beautifully away from Højlund. He left him on the deck. Gnabry poking it back inside. Musiala with an injection of pace gets away from Casemiro with ease. He's got Kane to his right hand side. He's got Sané to his left. He plays in the Englishman and Kane forces a decent save at the near post out of the diving Onana.
Yeah, once again, Musiala, just that turn of pace. As soon as they get facing up the United goal and go with purpose and drive, they're causing all kinds of trouble. And Kane's strike there might potentially just edge him wide, but good save from the goalkeeper.
And then a little skirmish off the ball. Kane ended up on the deck. Goretzka got a yellow card for his part in the follow-up, along with Lisandro Martinez. I think they're the two that are booked, and Martinez appears to almost be offering him out. Martinez gave Kane a shove as he was shepherding the ball over the line and shoved him straight into the assistant referee. Martinez in the book. Kingsley Coman, who scored a winner in a Champions League final in the past, is going to be coming on. Change for Bayern Munich. Coman for Gnabry while they make it. We'll get news of another goal at Huddersfield, Alan.
Yeah, quite a game. Huddersfield 2, Stoke 2. Huddersfield struck straight back, having gone behind to Ben Wilmot. Jack Rudoni with a close-range shot on the turn, and Neil Warnock now sensing a victory in his final Huddersfield game. Huddersfield 2, Stoke 2.
Jack Rudoni tying it up. A reminder that over on Talksport 2 right now, the big game of the Championship tonight is Norwich 0, Leicester 1. They played 18 minutes of the second half. The Kelechi Iheanacho penalty just coming up to half-time is still the difference between the two sides. It is live for you right now on Talksport 2, as again the Talksport network gives you a choice of live football. More than 450 games over the course of the season on the network, more than anywhere else, including this one. Bayern Munich 3, Manchester United 1. Is Kim at the back for Bayern, finds it from Meccano, played out to Konrad Laimer again. Laimer, good acquisition for Bayern. Goretzka, forward for Kane. He is as well. Kane, excellent crossfield ball. Slightly bobbling in front of Sané, but he can let fly, and Onana has just spilt it. He got his hands behind it. It moved in the air. It came off his wrists, back down into a central position on the edge of the 6-yard box. But crucially, United won the second ball to get it away.
Well, fantastic effort there. When he first struck it, the first few metres that that ball travelled, you thought, this is sailing probably 5 metres over the bar. But the dip that it had on it, and Onana done quite well eventually, I think, to parry it away.
Corner was the net result, and Bayern will take it on the left flank, so 5th of the game. They lead 3-1. Arsenal 3 up at home to PSV. In comes the corner from Kimmich. Deep, Onana comes out. Justified in doing that. And stretched and got a right fist to punch the corner away. Out for a throw, which will be taken on the Bayern right-hand side. United have only beaten Bayern twice in 11 attempts. Crucially, of course, when it mattered, in the Barcelona and back in 1999, and also in the second leg of the quarterfinals in 2010. And that was a game where they went out anyway. Led 3-0 at one stage, ended up winning 3-2, and went out on away goals. Rashford chasing, Laimer coming back, and the pressure from Højlund has worked it back for his goalkeeper. Kim to Upamecano, now out towards Laimer. Laimer's ball into the feet of Musiala, who will just drop back into the midfield, quite a deep position, and turn and lay back and try and get going again. German international. Musiala still only 20, but nearly 130 Bayern games behind him already. Some big Champions League goals in amongst all of that as well.
It's been a big threat tonight, I think, to United. Probably one of their main threats, to be honest with you, his ability to pick the ball up, get turned and run with pace.
Upamecano, barrel-chested French centre-half, bringing the ball forward. Laimer, good ball down the line, will be chased here by Kingsley Coman. Coman on the right-hand side of the penalty area, lays it back. Goretzka, right-footed cross, deep towards the far post, nodded down by Sané. Lindelof awkwardly pokes it. Pellistri does well under duress inside his own penalty area. Firstly to clear, then to find Casemiro. Eriksen just hooks it forward. It becomes a fight ball, and the retreating Davis so quick always going to get to any loose ball inside his own half. Did so, and plays it back for his goalkeeper, all right.
Yeah, I think Bayern at this stage of the game will look and say, you know what, we've probably been in second, maybe third gear, and it's been pretty comfortable for us this evening. You know, we look as though we're going to win this first group game against arguably the toughest side in the group, apart from ourselves, and he'll be more than happy.
A reminder, the other game in the group, which was an early kick-off, finished 2-2 between Galatasaray and Copenhagen. Manchester United's next Champions League tie is at home to the Turkish side. They then take on Copenhagen at home on match day 3 before going into Denmark for match day 4. So United, notwithstanding a potential defeat tonight, could still be in a very strong position in the group at the halfway stage with 6 points against their name. Erik ten Hag would expect that to be the case. Not a lot of depth on the Manchester United bench tonight, as we've been talking about, with the fact that only 17 outfield players travelled to Bavaria. One of the substitutes, Scott McTominay, is going to be brought on very shortly. Midway through the second half, Manchester United trail by 3-1. Arsenal still leading PSV 3-0 into trailing in Spain against Real Sociedad, and down to 10 men as well now. Barella sent off in that game as Kane brings it forward. Bayern hungry for more. He's let fly from distance. It's taken a ricochet down towards the dead ball line. Dalot is there to stop it going out of play for a corner. Passes it in the area for Eriksson, who scoops it immediately clear, and it goes out of play for a throw. And Scott McTominay will now come on. Who's he going to replace? It is Eriksson rather than Casemiro.
Well, it's going to be one or the other, that is for sure. Been lacking a little bit of toe. I think Eriksson's probably offered that little bit more in an advanced area, but Casemiro, I can't really remember him doing a great deal in the game. Can you, Jim?
No, not at all. So Casemiro off, McTominay on, and another goal at Ewood Park for Mickey Gray.
Yeah, 79 minutes gone here now, and I think this tie is over. It's Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 3, and it's Jack Clarke with his second goal. It's brilliant play from Clarke on the left-hand side. He weaves his way into the 18-yard box and just slots the ball into the back of the net for the away side. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 3.
So in the Championship, it looks like this at the moment. 3-1 Sunderland there, Huddersfield 2, Stoke 2, Hull 0, 10-man Leeds 0, Roden sent off, Millwall 2, Rotherham 0, Watford 2, West Brom 2, as it's been since very early on. Live over on Talksport 2 for you right now. Norwich 0, Leicester 1. In the Champions League elsewhere, Arsenal 3 up at home to PSV. Benfica down to 10 men and 2 down at home to Salzburg. Braga 0, Napoli 1, Real Sociedad 1, Inter 0, Sevilla 1, Lens 1. Dalot playing the ball back for Lindelof. Lindelof to his left-hand side for Lisandro Martinez. Martinez played forward. Hoyland doing well between the lines, was able to turn, but a little flick from Coman steered it away from him. Coman then in position to receive a pass from Lima, and they'll be able to break quickly. Musiala doing well, not the best ball, but he turned it into a decent pass. Helps it one stop further down the line for Sane, and Sane will move forward towards the edge of the penalty area before laying it back for Davis. And Bayern having swiftly made 40 yards upfield and more than happy to retreat a similar distance just to try and work the angles and work Manchester United off the ball. Goretzka to Kimmich, back for Upamecano, and Upamecano just taking a touch with his right boot, then another, and then he will turn and go to his left-hand side for Kim Min-jae. So we'll go back to Arsenal. Here's Alex Crew.
Arsenal 3, PSV 0. More changes afoot for Arsenal. Emil Smith-Rowe, by popular demand, is coming on as you join me. So too Fabio Vieira. 23 minutes to go here. Arsenal closing in on only their second clean sheet in their last 12 home matches. Arsenal 3, PSV 0.
Cheers, Crookie, with 3 minutes ahead of you in this one. Bayern 3, Manchester United 1 on Talksport.
Yeah, just United trying to forage down that left-hand side, and Rashford just miscontrolled it then. His body language, well, he said everything really. You know, he's an incredible talent that can catch pigeons running forward, and look as though he's got the fridge on his back when he's running backwards.
Kane for Sane. Musiala back for Sane. Sane, edge of the penalty area into the feet of Kane. Kane on the turn, swivels it down to the left-hand side. Davis pulls it back, high ball inside the penalty area. Coman with the initial header. Bruno Fernandes volleys it clear, only as far as Kimmich. Kimmich retreating, a little 1-2 between him and Kim. Now played forward towards Goretzka. Upamecano on the edge of the centre circle. 18 minutes to go. Bayern 3, Manchester United 1. United have never won away to Bayern. That Bayern run set to be extended to 6 tonight, but just at the risk of repeating ourselves, it's not a mortal wound in terms of their hopes of qualification. Far from it. It's clearly the most difficult game in the group away to Bayern. All that matters is going through. Yeah, you want to win the group, but as long as you come second, that's okay. And it's going to have a night of frustration with the odd defensive aberration and goalkeeper howler. Better to probably do it against Bayern Munich than do it against the Galatasaray or Copenhagen.
Yeah, well, I would totally agree with that, and probably the stage of the season, Ten Hag will be hoping that this will be the lowest United are on form and confidence at this stage of the season than the rest of it, because if this carries on both in the league and in the Champions League, then there will be one or two disconcerted supporters, I'm sure.
They lost 3 of the first 5 league games, as you know. The first time that's happened in 34 years. Bayern looking to the bench. Eric Choupo-Moting's going to be coming on in a moment. Oh, Arsenal has scored again. Alex Crook.
Arsenal 4, PSV 0. The captain Martin Ødegaard putting the gloss on a glory night for the Gunners. The ball came for the skipper just inside the D on the edge of the area, and he rifled it into the bottom left-hand corner. Arsenal 4, PSV 0. It's a rout.
Third goal of the young season for Ødegaard. What a night for Arsenal. 4-0 up against the Dutch champions. Manchester United trailing the German champions by 3-1. Kane very deep inside his own half. Turned the ball away from Lisandro Martinez, work it forward. Coman saw the sliding challenge of Casemiro coming. Tried to divert the ball out to the touchline. It hit Pellistri, who is really struggling. Looks as though he's blowing quite significantly. He's been chasing everything for Facundo Pellistri. It looks as though he's got the better of him. He's very tired. I wonder if Ten Hag will be contemplating making a change very soon.
Well, I don't think there's a United player who doesn't look a yard off it at the moment when it comes to chasing a Bayern forward, or a midfield player, or a defender for that matter.
One of the interesting observers of tonight's performance will be Vincent Kompany. Manchester United next in action at Burnley Saturday night, live on Talksport. Here's Leroy Sané, edge of the penalty area. Sané just with a misdirected pass. Look for Musiala, but only found touch. He goes out of play for a throw. Is it Musiala who's going to come off here to be replaced by the former Stoke City striker Eric Choupo-Moting? Yes, it is. Choupo-Moting will come on. Had a run of 16 goals in 19 games towards the back end of last season. But he hasn't scored since netting against PSG in the Champions League quarter-final back in March, the 16th goal in that run. Comes on, having lost his place as the leader of the line to Harry Kane since the Englishman's side. 7 without a goal for the Cameroonian international. He comes on with 15 minutes to go. Bayern Munich 3, Manchester United 1. Just to reiterate, Burnley Manchester United kicks off at 8 Saturday night, and it is live and exclusive for national radio here on Talksport with Sam Matterface and Nicky Graham. Upamecano to his right for Lima. Lima getting it away from Højlund. Goes back to the goalkeeper. The other subs on the bench for United, incidentally: Evans, Gore and Medjbury, Garnacho, Forsen and Martial. Leroy Sané bringing it forward. So much space again for Bayern Munich against the retreating Manchester United back line. Sané trying to help it in, but Martinez can clear.
Well, for me, I think United have given the ghost up. There's too many of their players just walking around, not making a proper effort, trying to turn the ball over, getting back into shape. Yeah, I think they've totally packed it in.
What would your reaction be if you were Eric Ten Hag to what you've seen from United in the last 15 minutes?
Well, the alarm bells would be ringing. I think their first half performance, albeit they went 2-0 down, there weren't a lot in the game, let's be honest with you, Jim. There weren't a lot. 2 moments of real drive from Bayern was enough to go past players. But I'm looking at players here. Recovery runs from certain individuals is horrific.
Lima, Choupo-Moting, sliding challenge, got it away on the edge of the area from one of the United defenders. It was Dallo. Lima will chip it back in, looking for Goretzka. That one headed away in the midfield by Casemiro, another who's visibly tired.
Yeah, there's so many players just not getting back goal side, and when Bayern do drive into the final third, well, there's no shape at all about the United backline at present.
It's going to be another big game away from home against high-quality opposition that Manchester United will not have picked up a positive result in. We were talking earlier, and again it bears repeating, last season, away to top 9 opposition in the Premier League, they picked up 1 point out of a possible 24. A draw at Tottenham. They lost the other 7. They let in a 7, a 6 and a 4 in that run. All told, they scored 8 and conceded 28. They've already lost away to 2 of those same sides already this season. Here's Kane. His shot deflected and knocked away, and then Kane winning the seconds on the edge of the box. It's Choupo-Moting, and Onana makes a good save. He's dived to his right-hand side, stopped it flying into the top left-hand corner. Manchester United really under the cosh now.
Well, they're under the cosh because Bayern have broke, and then all of a sudden the attack slows down near the edge of the box. And in the far end of the picture, Casemiro's half walking back, Rashford's half walking back. Too many of their players have just packed it in, and I'm seeing Bayern attackers and midfield players bursting a gut to get up and support their team, and no recovery run from the United players.
United fans, certainly so much for you to get your teeth into with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on the sports bar. That follows us. In comes this latest Bayern Munich corner, headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Højlund. Out to Leroy Sané, scorer of the first Bayern goal. That was a shot, if you're just joining us, which just inexplicably went through the hands of Andre Onana. How different a night it might have been, because up to that point, nearly half an hour in, United were every bit as good as Bayern. They lost confidence very quickly after that, soon found themselves 2 down. Choupo-Moting keeping the ball in on the right-hand touchline. It must have been very tight. Back he goes for Kimmich. Kimmich down to the Bayern left for Davis. Davis into the feet of Sané, who's wriggled his way past Dallo. He's done brilliantly to chase a lost cause. Came with a little back heel flick, and again that finds Sané when he seems second favourite. And the shot in towards the near post is dealt with by Onana to deny Coleman, Bayern Munich's 4th.
Well, I'm not sure what Onana done in regard to his rant at Maguire in the summer, but if ever you're going to have a rant at your back line, now is the time and the moment to actually do that. Well, not just say the back line, the whole team.
I think Erik ten Hag will be letting them know what he thinks. Good pressure on the ball at the other end, though. Pellistri doing well to help win it back. McTominay trying to help it on, but couldn't get it to the edge of the penalty area. Now Upamecano, having robbed him of possession, will lead a 4-against-4 counter-attack. And there's no defensive cover at all for United. Might come back for Upamecano. Choupo-Moting. Bruno Fernandes eventually comes back and can tiptoe his way to safety through his own penalty area. But where was the cover?
Well, they broke 5-on-4 in a Bayern superiority. And the attack slowed down. It ended up being cleared. When you look and think, well, hang on, the camera angles panned out a little bit. Some United players have got to come into the picture soon. None of them.
They'll make a double change. Højlund comes off on the night that he scored his first Manchester United goal. Anthony Martial comes on to replace him. The other change sees Pellistri replaced by Garnacho.
Yeah, as I say, there's too many players who've just given the ghost up, to be honest with you. And that is alarming. They're fortunate that Bayern have not been a little bit more clinical in these certainly the last 10-15 minutes, when United have just really so off the pace, it's frightening.
3-1 it remains. Arsenal leading by 4-0 at home to PSV. And Upamecano in possession. Manchester United have made that double change. Garnacho coming on for Pellistri. Garnacho on for his Champions League debut, the Argentinian international. Sane making his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Just a slightly heavy touch. It came off the top of his right foot. Rashford's going to try and bring it away. There's another illustration of just how quick Davis is, because he beat him by 2 yards over 30, and that takes something very special. Rashford, in frustration, pushed him to the ground. The Canadian with the last laugh, and Bayern will be able to play out from the back, but they've given it away. Scott McTominay leading the press, but Martial wasn't quite on the same wavelength, and Bayern survived.
Yeah, fortunate there. Really loose play from Bayern, and no need for it, to be quite honest with you. And United, McTominay it was. And unfortunate it wasn't Rashford who received the ball at his feet.
And now in the Championship, a third goal for Millwall in stoppage time. They lead Rotherham 3-0. Tom Bradshaw has scored the latest. And an equaliser for Inter at Real Sociedad, scored by Marcus Thuram. 1-1. Bayern Munich 3, Manchester United 1. It's Goretzka. Goretzka to Choupo-Moting. Outside the penalty area, but only just. So too Leroy Sané on the left of the box. Back for Choupo-Moting. Choupo-Moting doing well. Stands it up. Left-footed shot. But Onana can dive to his left to make a comfortable.
Well, I've got to say, Onana's made probably 4 or 5 saves in the last 10-15 minutes. Albeit on that occasion, he just didn't get his effort away. Worked well to create the space and just didn't get it far enough away from the goalkeeper. But, well, as I say, it's worrying, I think. Very, very worrying these last 15 minutes or so.
And Kane brings it forward, but has lost possession. Manchester United look long out to the right-hand side for Marcus Rashford. Rashford hitting a ball in on the half volley, and coming in to meet it was Garnacho, but it was a very difficult attempt at a tight angle, particularly with the presence of Lima in close attendance. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. It's going to be very interesting listening to the reaction tomorrow morning of both Alan Brazil and Ali McCoy's to two very different Champions League performances from the English clubs. Rennie Mullenstein, former Manchester United coach, will be joining the boys, and it'll be intriguing to hear what he's got to say about the way that Manchester United have approached this second half. We'll also hear from Emmanuel Petit. We'll be delighted the Arsenal invincible with the start that the Gunners have made to their Champions League campaign. Former Wales rugby winger Shane Williams joining the boys as well. It's Talksport Breakfast with Alan and Ali tomorrow morning from 6. Music's more your thing. To go to work, perhaps listen to Chris Evans Monday to Thursday from 6:30 a.m. on Virgin Radio. And you can get that by downloading the app. Ball played out to Leroy Sané on the Bayern left. They're still hungry for more, leading 3-1. Sané faced up by Dalot. Quick exchange of passes between him and Choupo-Moting. Choupo-Moting to Davis. Back inside his own half for Kim Min-jae. Now to Upamecano. And Manchester United in the last 25 minutes have not really had a kick. There's been a little bit of harrying, a couple of intense presses that have threatened to get the job done, but since it went 3-1, it's been all Bayern, and it's just been an exercise in ball retention, knowing that decent chances are going to come with regularity.
Yeah, it certainly has been that, and luckily for United, Onana has managed to stop anything that's come his way. Otherwise, the score could have been a touch more elevated.
Leroy Sané towards the edge of the penalty area. Sané onto his right foot. Sliding challenge comes in from Casemiro. Scored in a Champions League final in the past. Goretzka back out towards Lima. That Inter Milan goal, incidentally, has been chalked off. Disallowed for an offside, a very close offside. The VAR ruling it out, and it remains a Real Sociedad 1, Inter 0. Incidentally, Barella's red card in that game also was withdrawn, I think, on the advice of the VAR. So it remains Real Sociedad 1, Inter 0, with 5 minutes to go in that game. And Thomas Muller's going to be coming on very shortly for Bayern Munich with 5 minutes left in this one. The full-time whistle's beginning to go in the Championship. Millwall have beaten Rotherham 3-0. And an entertaining game's ended all square at Vicarage Road. Ian Abrahams.
Watford 2, West Brom 2. All the goals in the first 23 minutes here for Watford. Curlers from Tommins and Matthias Martins. West Brom scored a delicious free kick from John Swift and Jim Wallace on target as well. But in the end, a draw, a fair result. Watford 2, West Brom 2.
United bringing the ball forward. Davis can knock it away. 3-1 Bayern lead. A double change is imminent. They can make it now. Thomas Muller coming on, and Mathis Tel will be coming on as well. An 18-year-old French striker that Bayern signed from Rennes last year, the youngest to start and to score in a Bundesliga match for Bayern. He will come on for Thomas Muller, very much at the other end of the age spectrum. He scored the last meeting against Manchester United back in the first leg, the second leg of the quarterfinals in 2014. That one ended 3-1 to Bayern. It's the same scoreline tonight as Harry Kane makes his way from the field.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a stellar performance from Harry Kane. He's got his goal from the penalty spot. He'll be pleased with that. And more importantly for Bayern, it looks as though they've got 3 points to kick them off in the first group stage game.
Where would you feel that Kane would need to improve on the strength of a performance tonight? Or does it not matter if his contributions, as sporadic as they sometimes are as effective as they are?
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that. Sometimes you watch him for England, you think Harry's not touched the ball for however long, and all of a sudden he delivers an assist or a goal out of nothing and knits things together. Weren't one of his better games, but, played his part in the team performance.
Here's Rashford for Garnacho. Bruno Fernandes into the feed on the edge of the area. Rashford, Martial, and also in there Casemiro, and off balance he's been able to hook it in. And with 2 minutes to go, Manchester United throw themselves another highly unexpected lifeline, committing bodies forward for the first time for about 20 minutes. A scramble inside the box, Casemiro off balance, able to get his left foot round it, hook it into the net, and it's 3-2.
Well, I'm confused with football, I really am. Absolute carnage in the box. Casemiro pirouetted, tried to hit it with his right foot or help it on with his right foot, fell on top of it, pirouetted, and then from the floor and slid it in with his left foot. So United are back in a game where you thought this could go to 4 or 5 or 6, and I think Bayern will be looking and thinking, my goodness, how haven't we put this game to bed?
Casemiro scoring his 8th Champions League goal in 82 games in the competition. Did net in the final in 2017, one of 4 that he took part in that he won. And it's his 2nd goal of the season to add to the one that he got against Forest. And Manchester United have a puncher's chance of a positive result at the Allianz Arena, absolutely out of nothing.
Yeah, that's probably more of a damning indictment on Bayern, who haven't been able to put this game to bed, than it is on United working to get back in the game.
Let's get full-time details in the Championship first at Ewood Park, Mickey Gray.
Where it is finished, Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 3. Goals from Jack Clark from the penalty spot and Dan Neil in the first half. Either side of Harry Leonard's Blackburn header gave Sunderland lead at half-time. Sunderland came out in the second half, and on 78 minutes, Jack Clark with his 2nd goal. A weaving run into the 18-yard box and a superb finish just give the away side all 3 points. Sunderland up to 4th. Work for Blackburn to do. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 3.
Garnacho to Anthony Martial, trying to get free on the left-hand side of the box. There was no advantage when he lost possession, so play's been pulled back for a free kick to Manchester United, out by the left-hand touchline, level with the edge of the penalty area. The game about to go into stoppage time. Quick full-time details at Huddersfield from Alan Biggs.
Huddersfield 2, Stoke 2, fine game, fair result. Both had chances to win it. Huddersfield led, Matty Pearson, Daniel Johnson swiftly equalised. Ben Wilmot in the second half headed Stoke in front. Jack Rudoni levelled. Fitting send-off for Neil Warnock, taking a bow now. Huddersfield 2, Stoke 2.
It's finished 0-0 at Hull. We'll get details from Mark Wilson in a moment. First of all, though, this Manchester United free kick. So we go into 4 minutes of added time. Bruno Fernandes swinging it in. Handed away by Upamecano. And then high back towards the edge of the penalty area from Reguilon. Choupo-Moting, the latest to get involved in the game of head tennis, headed it forward. Reguilon returned it in kind. Choupo-Moting comes away with the ball. Counter-attack could be on again. That one's snuffled out though by Lindelof. 3.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. United 3-2 down, but Bruno Fernandes gives it away. Lima playing it forward, and Tell, the young Frenchman, will chase after it down the right-hand side of the area, playing it in for Muller, and his effort comes back off the post. Then Tell has an effort that hits Muller and breaks outside the penalty area. They've hit both posts in this second half. It's still 3-2 to Bayern Munich. Kimmich chipping in forward. Another chance for Tell, and he lashes it into the roof of the net. No doubt about the destiny of the points now. Another Manchester United mini fight back comes to nothing as they concede almost straight away. And Bayern will end with a victory. They lead 4-2. Manchester United beaten for sure.
Well, the United goal to bring it back to 3-2 was probably a false dawn, certainly on their performance, and the sweat they put on their shirt to get themselves back in the game was non-existent. But there was too wide open, too regularly from United's point of view, and just looking at the replay, Tell's just dipped off the back of Casemiro, planted into the floor, and just toe poked it into the roof of the net. And United have conceded 4, and that's probably what they deserved on the run of play.
The Frenchman's first Champions League goal, coming just moments after the post had been hit. Bayern have got the job done. They lead by 4-2. We'll get full-time details then from Hull. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Hull 0, Leeds 0. Leeds dominant first half. 2 great saves from Allsop, kept them out. Rodon was sent off for 2 bookings on the hour. Hull didn't create much, but they missed the chance surely of the season. Connolly in on goal, decided to square it to the unmarked Traore. Everyone in the ground thought he was going to score, hit the inside of the post. Hull 0, Leeds 0.
Late drama in the Braga-Napoli game where Braga equalised and Napoli have retaken the lead. Still playing there. Braga 1, Napoli 2. And Leicester 2 up at Norwich, with Casey McAteer's had a really good start of the season for Leicester. That's live over on Talksport 2, last knockings of that. Norwich 0, Leicester 2. Norwich's 100% home record coming to an end. And Leicester will record a 9th win in 10, courtesy of McAteer, their leading scorer, getting his 4th of the campaign. Here's Marcus Rashford with a minute of stoppage time to go. 4 down the line for Anthony Martial. And Martial bringing it forward, but without any conviction. And Bruno Fernandes rescues the ball in the midfield. Sandro Martinez goes back for Victor Lindelof. Lindelof will turn it back inside his own penalty area for his goalkeeper, Andre Onana.
Yeah, I think the score, probably, as silly as it sounds, probably flatters United. They've ended up suffering a 4-2 defeat. But the most concerning thing for me, Jim, was that period, probably, well, that we're in at the moment, where the United players just basically stopped trying almost, you know, for a 10-15 minute period, and they were fortunate in that period that a goal fell to them from nothing. It's inspired them slightly.
From about 70 minutes probably. It just unravelled after Harry Kane's penalty. Casemiro pulling one back, Matisse Tell making it 4-2. So one free kick here after Garnacho was fouled for Manchester United, but it will only be a consolation if they were to score here. Fernandes, well, he has scored. He's taken a free kick with real power and venom from the left-hand side of the area, flashed across the face of the 6-yard box and inside the far post. And it's going to end 4-3.
This is absolutely ludicrous. When he set, you knew he was going to have a dig at goal. There's no doubt about that. I don't know where, I think there was a touch.
Oh, yes, it was. Casemiro has got his head to it.
Yeah, he's ended up getting his head to it. And horrific defending by Bayern. And both teams, it's fair to say, not fully at it this evening.
So 2 goals in the last 6 minutes for Casemiro, but surely in vain. The goal is being checked. How close he is to being offside. Now that seems to be the indication from the Swedish referee Glenn Niebuhr that he might be offside. This one might be ruled out. It's academic anyway. We're playing 4 additional minutes. We've played 5.5. I think it is going to stand.
I think it will. I certainly saw the replay. It looked as though I think it was was Kim keeping him onside.
Yep, it does stand, but it's the last action of the game. Sounds like a 7-goal thriller, and that Manchester United have just been edged out. That wasn't how it transpired at all. Bayern Munich seldom, as soon as they'd taken the lead after the goalkeeping error from Andre Onana, had any real danger of not winning this game. 2 goals in a 4-minute spell in the first half. United got back into the game but conceded almost immediately, and they got themselves back into the game late on only to concede almost immediately. So many more negatives than positives for Manchester United. The biggest positive, really, that they got the hardest fixture in the group out of the way. They've been beaten tonight in Bavaria by 4-3.
Well, Stuart Pearce, it's finished here at Arsenal, by the way. They've absolutely crushed PSV 4-0. It could have been more. We'll talk about this game in a moment with Alex Crook. But Stuart Pearce, it is 7 goals. It's an exciting game, lots of goals in it. But no way were Manchester United that close to Bayern Munich tonight. Maybe in the first half, but second half, they look miles off it at times. I can't really work out the scoreline. How on earth have Manchester United scored 3 goals there?
I don't think I've ever seen such an unexciting 4-3 scoreline. Honestly, it's really difficult to put this one into words. I've seen one team totally switch off for at least 15-20 minutes, almost pack it in, which was that is the most worrying thing out of all of this. You know United can get a goal, they have got talent in their team, but the biggest worry of everything, they can concede 4 goals. They might have even conceded more goals than that in against the Bayern team that I don't think Bayern really played brilliantly tonight. They just done enough to win the game comfortably against a team that eventually in the second half almost packed in. But I'm sure, Erik ten Hag will probably put a little bit of spin on we were unfortunate, 3 goals on the road, blah, blah, blah. But underlying that was a real lack of effort at certain periods of the time of the game.
What do you think Erik ten Hag will take from this, though?
Well, they scored 3 goals on the road. Probably the best thing to take from this is you've probably been beaten by the best team in the group, and the team that have got every chance of winning the group. They're in a 3-team group at the moment, United, with that result, and they've got to beat 2 teams that they're more than capable of doing so.
Well, Stuart Pearce, time now to pick our man of the match.
The big preview on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, Bayern Munich 4, Manchester United 3, 2 for Casemiro. I'm really interested to see who your man of the match is, Stuart Pearce.
Exactly. Listen, this is a standalone game without a doubt. Musiala is the one for me that made things happen, drove past people, caught the eye more than anybody in a game that, certainly I couldn't give it to a United player on what I've seen.
Musiala did play really well. Bayern Munich 4-3 winners. Stuart, thanks very much. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
The big preview on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Thanks to Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. Bayern Munich 4, Manchester United 3. I'll run through all the full time shortly, but let's round up what happened here. Great night.